Any views or opinions expressed on KUR are not necessarily those of Kutztown University, Kutztown University Student Government, Kutztown University Student Services Incorporated, KUR staff and management, or other affiliated organizations.
Kutztown Live. Kutztown University Campus's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can call Kutztown Live at 610-683-4859. And now, your host for Kutztown Live, Juliana Jablonski.
Good afternoon and welcome to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, and today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. We have a full show for you today. It is that time again for our reoccurring guest, Lori D'Onofrio-Galli from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. She's always keeping us up to date about all the events that are going on in the chamber, and as always has brought along a special guest. Today, she has brought along with her Ellen Overcast, who was on our show a few months back here talking about her business, Dream Vacations, but now is here to speak to us about the Briar Cliffs Apartments here in Kutztown. Later on in the show, we will be speaking to Allie from Kubak, the neighborhood watch here in Kutztown, and she'll be also telling us about some ACE events going on. And then later on in the show, we will be speaking to Stephen Madry, a former host of Kutztown Live, who is now a reporter on Channel 14 News in Indiana. And as always, if you missed last week's show, head on over to the KUR website at www.kutztown.edu/KUR and click on that podcast link. Here with us now is Lori and Ellen Overcast. Hello and good afternoon. Thank you both for coming in today.
Happy Valentine's Day to you too. As you know, I have some information to share with the listeners about the Northeast Berks Chamber. We have 4 new members that I would like to recognize. First, we have East Point Search Group, and that is owned by Marie Moser in Ole, so we welcome that staffing agency. Mad Dogs, owned by Christopher Moyer here in Kutztown, formerly at the Potts U hot dog location. We also have a retailer, Petite Milan. The owner is Stacy Leipard, and that is in downtown West Reading. And close by in Maxatawny, we have a new member, Hawley's Automotive. So we would like to welcome 4 new members that have come in the last few weeks. We have several events on our schedule. In fact, we have 2 this week. Tomorrow, we will have our first in a series of working lunch sessions, and we will bring a panel of members together with an audience of members to share information on a given topic. Tomorrow, the topic is wellness, and it's hosted by Advanced Healthcare Relative Care in West Reading. Our 4 panelists include Tamu Nagina from Mend Soul Holistic Arts in downtown Kutztown, Deisha Dixon of the Reading Health System, Megan Dougherty from Tri-Valley YMCA in Fleetwood, and also from Fleetwood, a brand new member, Dr. Brian Gazy from Gazy Chiropractic. And if you go onto our website at www.northeastberkschamber.com today, you can get an advanced discount on registration for $25. Coming up in a few days will be our monthly breakfast meeting. That will be held this Friday, the 17th, in Kutztown at the Kutztown Fire Company. We are looking forward to an exciting speaker, Jerron Gates from Fraser Advanced Information Systems, and his topic will be the Internet of Things. Our sponsor for that meeting is Bob Hoball, who is a resident of Kutztown. He is also our chamber solicitor, and he works for Stevens and Lee. I also want to let your listeners know that our directories are available, and whether you're a member or just a resident of Kutztown or any part of our service area, we would be happy to give you a directory of all the businesses and nonprofits in our regional chamber. Lastly, I would like to mention a few upcoming networking events that we've scheduled. This Saturday, speaking of Mad Dogs Kutztown, remember we talked about that last time, Juliana. Have you gotten a hot dog yet?
No, I have not. I was just thinking about that today when I remembered you were coming in. I was like, I wonder if the opening was yet. I couldn't remember the date.
You haven't missed it. It's this Saturday at 10:30 at 100 North Constitution Boulevard, and there will be food sampling, so I invite everyone to attend at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday the 18th. Then also Dr. Gazy, who was just mentioned, a chiropractor in Fleetwood, he will be hosting a grand opening mixer and ribbon cutting. His office is located at 12 West Main Street in Fleetwood, and that will happen on Monday, March 6th from 5:30 to 7:30. And last but not least, we have Interlace Communications. That's located in Shoemakersville. One of our board members, Elise Mitten, is the owner of Interlace, and she will be hosting a Members Hosting Members networking mixer on Wednesday, March 29th at 4:30. So all of that information will be found on our website, again, northeastberkschamber.com, or you can contact us at the office at 610-683-8860. Now I'd like to introduce, for a second time here on Kutztown Live, my guest today is Ellen Overcast. As Juliana mentioned, she's the owner of Dream Vacations Main Street Getaways in downtown Kutztown. She's a very actively engaged member of our chamber, and she's here to talk to us about Briarcliff Apartments. Ellen.
Thank you, Lori. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I'm actually here today as the manager of Briarcliff Community, which is an off-campus housing community located within walking distance of Kutztown University. We've been in operation since 1974, so I like to refer to us as the original off-campus housing community. We have 100 townhouses. We have 84 bedroom townhouses and 22 bedroom townhouses. They are furnished. They come with kitchen table and chairs. Living room has a sofa, armchair, table, lamp, and the bedrooms have a dresser, a bed, a desk, a chair for each person in the house. You can, in our 4-bedroom houses, next year our rents are not increasing. And next year, our rent for the 4-bedroom is $9,900 a semester. So you would divide that up by the number of people. You can have up to 5 people. Most of our houses right now are renting with just 4 people in the 4-bedroom, which we do have individual leases. They are $2,475 per semester. So I believe we are reasonably priced compared to some of the other apartments. And we have a very friendly staff. We have probably the best maintenance man. I have to put a plug in for Steve. Everybody loves Steve. He comes out right away. If you give us a call, we come out right away. We're really good with maintenance. If you have any kind of a problem, I live at the community. I'm there also. So, and we have Joanna is the assistant manager, and all of us have a really good working relationship with our tenants. We do enjoy everybody that's there. I don't know. I would like to say we are going to have an open house on March 1st it's a Wednesday, March 1st from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to have refreshments and giveaways. What we're doing is we're offering anyone that wants to place a deposit and sign their lease before they leave for spring break, we will enter you into a drawing for our showcase house. If you come down at any time between 1 and 5, we can show it to you ahead of time, but it will be available for viewing on March 1st during the open house. It is fully staged. It has bedding and all kinds of decorations. The big thing, we've had some people come in and look at it, and they want the KU. We have a big metal letters hanging on the living room wall. It's all decorated in kind of Kutztown University gear. So please come down and see us. We'd love to give you a tour. You can get a copy of our lease. It's available to anybody that wants to take it along and take a look at it. I don't know if I mentioned our 2-bedroom houses are $6,900 a semester. Deposits for the 4-bedroom are $900 total. So again, you're going to divide that by the number of people. Our 2-bedroom is $600 divided by the number of people in the 2-bedroom. So easy to secure a house. Just come down and see us. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. I've been down to the Cliffs. I've seen those apartments. I think they're really cute and nice. I've been in.
Thank you.
Is there a phone number or a website that we can go to call if we have questions or to look at?
Absolutely. The phone number is 610-683-6232. Our website is www.briarcliffapartments.com. It's actually BRIARCLIFFAPTS, so it's the abbreviation for apartments. www.briarcliffapartments.com, or you can email us at office@briarcliffapartments.com.
All right, you're a busy person with the dream vacations and running the Briar Cliffs. Wow. Well, thank you both for stopping on in today.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's always a treat. I guess we're going to cut to a commercial break now, and we will see you back in 2 weeks.
Yes, you will. Thank you very much. I'll have Diane Dudley.
All righty, sounds
Happy
good.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
It's Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us.
Although it might not seem like it, Mars is more than just a barren wasteland of smooth red rock. Valleys, mountains, plains, volcanoes, and gullies cover its surface. In fact, Mars is home to the highest mountains and deepest valleys within the solar system. Its highest mountain, Olympus Mons, stretches 3 times as high as Mount Everest, while its deepest system of valleys, the Valles Marineris, are roughly 6 times as deep as the Grand Canyon, and run close to the width of Africa in length. These Earth-like landforms can't help but beg the question, what formed these massive geological features? Scientists believe the valleys on Mars were formed from the rifting of the planet's crust as it got stretched. However, some of these valleys, channels, and gullies contain sediment layered within them, suggesting that flowing water not only existed on Mars, but could have helped create these geological features. The many mountains and volcanoes on Mars were formed by hotspots of lava that seeped to the surface and hardened to create massive mountains and shield volcanoes. These mountains are believed to be bigger than those on Earth due to the low gravity and high eruption rates of volcanoes. Very limited tectonic plate movement on Mars also keeps the hotspots and crust stationary. This ensures that the lava always flows up in the same area to create massive volcanoes over time. There are so many of these volcanoes on Mars that there are actually separate volcanic provinces. The Tharsis province is where the Olympus Mons is located, which was formed from one single hotspot that was active for thousands, if not millions of years. Tharsis also features Alba Mons, the largest volcano in our solar system by area. It was formed by multiple, extensive hotspots, giving it a very large area and unnaturally small slopes. The Elysium province contains 3 main volcanoes, Elysium Mons, Hyades Tholis, and Albert Tholis. This province also contains large channels running through its edges, containing layers of sediment, which supports the idea that the channels were formed from a large release of groundwater. This shows that the formation and structure of the geological features on Mars and Earth are very similar. I'm John Freeman, and this has been The Red Planet.
Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more telescopic topics, and for more information or to hear the segment again, click on the Telescopic Topics icon on the KUR website at www.kutztown.edu/KUR. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by the KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Darlene!
Not now. I'm watching my stories.
Dad,
Yeah, boy.
I need to tell you something.
What?
I have these feelings.
Feelings? What feelings?
Well, the thing is, I like boys.
What? You're gay? Aw, son. I'm proud of you. Took lots of guts. And please know that both me and your mom are here for you. After all, you're our son, and we love you no matter what.
Need someone who understands? If you're a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning youth, Lyric can help. At Lyric, young people get the support they need to come out early and follow their heart. I'm Armistead Maupin. Please join me in supporting Lyric. To learn more and make a donation, visit lyric.org today.
And for GLBTQ resources on campus, visit the KU GLBTQ Center, Old Main, Room 4.
You're listening to Kutztown University Radio, the #1 self-proclaimed college radio station in the area. So keep it here on KUR.
Welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, and right before the break, we spoke to Lori D'Onofrio Galli of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, and along with her was Ellen Overcast, who was with us speaking about the Briar Cliff Apartments here in Kutztown. And now here in the studio with us is Jess Burns to speak to us about the Leadership Conference and KUBAC, and Ali DeStefano to speak to us about ACE. Welcome onto the show, you two. Jess, would you like to start us off by telling us a little bit about this Leadership Conference?
Absolutely, I would love to. So this Saturday, we're going to have our annual Spring Leadership Conference. We have one every year. The Office of Student Involvement sponsors it. This year, we're taking a little bit of a focus on a couple different areas for our workshops and our keynote. We'll be having a keynote by Chris Collins. He is a former student leader who focuses on major hurdles that student leaders are focusing, throughout the school year. Balancing all of their duties and expectations that come along with their roles in class and in their clubs and organizations. So he'll be taking a little bit of a focus in his HARM leadership model, which evaluates personal stressors, limitations, and how they can overcome those limitations, really. Learning and to create a culture of excellence and by organizing balanced groups to complete tasks and working with your clubs and organizations a little more effectively. We'll also be having some workshops in the afternoon. Our workshops will be focusing on building leadership skills within your clubs. We'll be doing some social justice discussions, how to have difficult conversations. We'll be having a GLBTQ session, how to interact with students from that population, as well as working with students to prepare themselves for life after Kutztown. So we'll be having Career Development Center will be there. We'll be talking about how to handle finances after you graduate. So we'll have a whole different types of discussions throughout the day. All KU students are free for registration. You get a free t-shirt, free lunch, free breakfast.
What is the date of this?
It's this Saturday, February 18th. Yes.
All right. And where can we go to register for this?
That'll be on KU United. So if you just log into KU United and go to either to the Office of Student Involvement page or on the banner that runs across the top of the page, there should be a box where you can click to get the link for registration.
All right.
Yep. Check-in starts at 9 a.m. And we'll run till about 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you also said you're a part of KUBAC here on Kutztown. Would you like to tell us all exactly what that is and what you do with that and how you can get involved?
Sure. So KUBAC is the Neighborhood Watch Program. It stands for Kutztown University, Borough of Kutztown. Our program has been around since 2007, so we're approaching our 10-year anniversary in existence, which is really exciting. Basically, KUBAC was created back in 2007 as a reaction to a Kutztown student being murdered on downtown, actually, Kyle Quinn. And after that incident happened, the student ambassador to the mayor approached the mayor, Sandy Green, at the time, and they really wanted to take action to try and be a little more proactive in protecting both students and community members from anyone coming outside of town or just creating a safe presence downtown. So basically our Neighborhood Watch program walks Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 11 to 2 a.m. And we make sure that students aren't walking alone, community residents, their properties aren't being mistreated, and just kind of creating a bridge between the community and the students as a whole. So we welcome faculty, staff, students, community residents, everyone to come join, volunteer, just to walk. You don't have to walk in order to be a part of the program. We are always looking for people to help with recruitment events, provide snacks for the walkers, things like that.
And how do you sign up to be a part of that or get involved, or where can we go, or a website?
Yep. So if you just contact me, Jessica, at kubakwatch@gmail.com, send me an email letting me know that you're interested in joining. And we do have a online training process, so I can give you our video. There is a little bit of a quiz you have to take, so make sure you're understanding the information and you're prepared. But there's also an application, a waiver form, and you can do that all online on your own time whenever you're ready to get trained. We do offer group trainings for clubs, organizations, businesses. So if you, as a whole group, want to get involved, we can arrange something like that as well.
All right. And then now Ali DeStefano is here to talk to us a little bit about ACE events that are going on.
Yes. Thank you for having me. So
thank you for coming.
Thanks. So I don't know if you're familiar with ACE, but what ACE is the Association of Campus Events on campus, and we are one of the largest student-run organizations on campus. So the majority of the activities that you see, like spa night, movie night, Print My Bod that we've had in the past, just different kind of like events like Mardi Gras, those are run through ACE. So it's pretty cool. So I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of the events that we have going on. So tonight, actually, we have a movie night, and we're playing Selma. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
I've never heard of that.
It's actually a really, really great story about Dr. Martin Luther King. So yeah, it's really inspiring, really wonderful. So that will be tonight at 7 p.m. in the Alumni Auditorium. So yeah, we also have one of our bigger events coming up. It's in about 2 weeks. It's our Mardi Gras event. It will be held in the South Dining Hall. And the great thing about this is you don't need a meal swipe to get in. We're just going to let people in so you can, come, have some food. There's going to be a DJ, a photo booth, henna tattoos, and I don't know if you've ever heard of like painting with a twist.
I've not. I don't think so.
It's one of those, it's really cool. It's totally like popular now, but you typically go with a whole bunch of friends and you basically take like a little painting class. So yeah, we're having someone come in with canvases and paints and stuff so we can paint Mardi Gras themed stuff. So that'll be fun.
I think my sister may have done like a birthday party thing like that, like where everybody goes and has like one big painting and then you all they like teach you how to do the one painting along with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I remember my little sister did it with owls. Everyone made an owl painting.
Okay, yeah, they have like tons of different things, but ours is going to be Mardi Gras themed, kind of go with the event.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that will be February 28th at 4:30. So, and then I have one more thing for you.
All right.
ACE does a lot of trips on campus, and one of our trips that are coming up will be the Baltimore, Maryland trip, and we're going to the aquarium, and if you've never been, I highly suggest it. It is wonderful. So, ticket sales are actually next Tuesday from 11 to 5 in the Office of Student Involvement, which is right across from the bookstore. So,
and when is that trip?
That trip is March 29th, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long have you been a part of ACE?
Well, I'm actually ACE's graduate assistant,
and
I've been the GA for ACE for about 2 years now, but as an undergrad, I was on ACE for 3 years, I believe. So a good chunk of time, definitely.
What have been some of your favorite events you've done or anything super fun that comes to mind?
Well, definitely Piper Kierman. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
No.
She's actually the face behind Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
So we brought her, I believe, 2 years ago, and she talked about her book, Orange is the New Black, obviously. But yeah, it was really, really interesting to see the actual person behind this huge hit series.
True story? Or I've seen the Netflix show. I am familiar with it. But okay. I didn't know that though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she actually co-directed the series.
Okay.
So the majority of it, I mean, obviously there's some fluffers in
it's
there.
Like
but
I don't know if you've seen the show.
I have.
It's like the Piper Chapman character based off of her life kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea.
So that was definitely one of my favorite events because it was so interesting to see like how her real life really was, like Piper Chapman or whatever.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you both for coming in today. Are there any final thoughts or words you'd like to make sure you announce?
Just if you're looking to get involved with the campus, stop by our office. We're, like Ali said, in 153 across from the campus bookstore. If not, our phone number is 610-683-1383. We have so many clubs, so many events, trips happening on campus. So come by and check us out.
Well, thank you very much for stopping in today and filling us in on some of that information.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to cut to a short commercial break, and we will be right back with more Kutztown Live.
Hello, I'm Anisha Sumar with the Kutztown University Psychology Update. According to a recent study published by the Association for Psychological Science, and contrary to popular belief, it may actually be men who are the sappy and hopeless romantics in relationships. Dr. Marissa Harrison of Penn State University found in her recent research that men seem to be the first to say, "I love you" in relationships. For the study, Harrison interviewed 172 college students, asking if they had ever been in love, and if so, how long it took them to fall in love. The students were also asked how long it took them to vocalize this emotion and who in the relationship said it first. Results of the study showed that men reported falling in love sooner than women. It also showed that 3 times as many men as women said "I love you" first to their partners. This study shows that in opposition to our national stereotype of the over-emotional woman, women are more pragmatic when it comes to love than we might assume, more wary of the consequences of falling in love. It's important to recognize that this research shows that women are not as emotionally unstable when it comes to picking a mate as we may think, and that is just another stereotype that we have established in our society. This research is especially important for men and women who are starting relationships. For men, you may want to back off a bit and not scare her away with the big 3 words, and for women, when he says "I love you," he most probably means it. Give him a break.
I honestly love you.
It's on us
to stop sexual assault,
to do something, anything, to keep an assault from happening.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
Get in the way if we see something happening. It's on us to never blame the victim.
To be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
It's on us, the entire Kutztown University family, to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
My name is Bruce Moyer, and I am a PennDOT equipment operator in Berks. We work hard clearing roads during winter weather events to get drivers from place to place safely. If you encounter plow or salt spreader, remember to allow 6 car lengths between your vehicle and our equipment. Do not pass or get between the snow plows, and avoid distractions. For more information or winter safety tips, visit justdrivepa.com.
1-800-222-1222. 1-800-222-1222. If you think it might be poison, then the first thing you should do is call 1-800-222-1222. Poison can be anything you're not supposed to take. Antifreeze, pesticide, the wrong drug by mistake. If you breathe a nasty chemical, been bitten by a snake, call the Poison Control Center hotline. We're here for you night or day.
For a poison or drug emergency at home or at work, just call the Poison Control Center hotline. We're here 24/7 with the expert help you need. Free and confidential. Even if you think it's a false alarm, call
1-800-222-1222. 1-800-222-1222. If you think it might be poison and you don't know what to do, call 1-800-222-1222.
A message from your Poison Control Center.
Got a smartphone? Hey, that's cool. But want to make it really smart? Take it to kutztown.edu/library/m. That's M like in mobile. And put KU's Rohrbach Library in the palm of your hand. You can search EBSCO and get articles. You can see which computer labs currently have open seats. You can even get live help from a bona fide reference librarian. Plus a whole lot more, including links to Facebook and to the KU Real-Time Shuttle Tracker. It's all at Rohrbach Library's mobile site, kutztown.edu/library/m. The place where your smartphone becomes a genius phone.
Hello, Kutztown University. We are members of Reading High School. I'm Daphne McMaster.
I'm Laisha Bishop.
I'm
I'm Marcus Benton.
I'm John Zabah from Reading High School. And if I ever fall in love so true, I will be sure that the lady is like you.
You are listening to KUR,
the radio voice of Kutztown University.
Hello and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, and today we started off the show speaking to Lori D'Onofrio-Galley from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. She's always keeping us up to date about all the events going on there, and along with her was Ellen Overcast, who was with us a few months back talking about her business Dream Vacations, but was here this week to speak to us about the Briar Cliff Apartments here in Kutztown. And before the commercial break, we spoke to Allie and Jess, and they told us about the leadership conference going on here in Kutztown and the Kubach Neighborhood Watch program that we can all get involved in. And they updated us on some ACE events that are going on here on campus. And now here on the phone with us is Stephen Majiri. He was the former host of the show and is now a reporter on Channel 14 News in Indiana. Hello, Stephen, and I guess welcome back to Kutztown Live.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It certainly feels stranger being on the other end, being the interview subject, but I'm sure I can get used to it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. I was super excited to hear. I was like, oh, someone who knows what this is and how to do it is going to be on the phone. So I guess, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you did here at Kutztown and how you got your start in KUR?
Well, yeah, it happened kind of organically. I was a bit of a late bloomer coming on KUR. It was my my junior year was when I had to go through the training and all that. So 2 years, if not that. And it was a mistake I regret. I really enjoyed my time doing that. A friend of mine, Haley Bianco, another alum from our department and KUR alum, had done it for a while. And I thought to myself, it sounds so interesting. It's just, I got to go through training and all that. And yes, and finally I said, all right, look, junior, this seems like a lot of fun. Let's go through with it. And I was really starting to progress towards getting involved more in my junior year. And that was something that I regret, was just not getting involved early on. So then I went through the training, and there was a show opening. There were two options for me for shows. There was either helping out with the Golden Bear Beat, I believe it was called, with Adam Dubrowolski. And we did, KU sports. And that's what I did for pretty much my first couple of years, just covering the sports teams. I did a lot. I was pretty much the sports guy. But I hadn't really dabbled as much in news and current events. And I had an interest in that. And I wanted to have a well-rounded portfolio when I would graduate, and there's always a lot going on, especially around, these days. And I thought to myself, I'm going to challenge myself and leave my comfort zone and try something new. And I chose KU Live, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I started out my freshman year with training, and then freshman year spring semester I got a country music show is what I started doing, and then I got an email over the summer that there was an open spot for Kutztown Live, and I was like, you know what, why not? I've been doing a music show, and I guess it'll be something fun and new.
What got you into radio?
My dream was to always be like a TV kind of talk show host person or a DJ, radio DJ, something fun like that. And as soon as it was the first week of school here, I was, looking for something to do. I was like, what can I join? What can I do? And I saw KUR, and I was like, that might be really cool if I could, have my own radio show. I can kind of do whatever I want. I think that would be a lot of fun. And so I just kind of by myself went to the first meeting, really.
Excellent. Yeah. So are you an electronic media major?
I am a communication studies major.
It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. I know you're asking the questions. Mike threw me on the show, and I said, oh, who's the new host? And I learned a bit about you. Excellent. Well, good for you.
Oh, yeah. And so you are on Channel 14 News. What exactly do you do there?
I am a reporter. The word reporter is kind of loosely thrown around. We're known these days, at least at this level market, as a multimedia journalist. So yes, that's complicated language for I'm an on-air TV reporter. I do news mostly, some sports, but mostly news. And That's at a NBC affiliate in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville is kind of an Allentown-sized city, but in Indiana, and it's in a tri-state area, so we cover 3 different states. And this business, you got to go where the job is. The job doesn't come to where you are. And I just thought to myself, as I was graduating, I worked at WEEU in Reading for a little bit, but I hadn't really dabbled much in TV, and it was something that I've been aiming for. And just suddenly I got a phone call, an interview. They flew me out, and I still can't believe that this is what I get to do. But it's very interesting, and I'm glad I made the decision. But I miss radio, especially if you can tell because I'm on the show talking about it.
Oh, yeah. Would you say being on KUR helped to get you where you are today, would you say?
In a way. I think it helped. First off, my internship at 6ABC WPVI is really what helped me with that. But, yeah, KUR showed that I was well-rounded. It's one thing that I learned is that a talking point I still hold dearly today is that, especially at Kutztown, with all the activities that they have there, the classes teach you the requisite skills, but you get to practically apply them in activities. I can learn how to shoot video and edit all I want, but doing it in a professional setting where there's not as much risk of you getting in trouble if you mess up, because that's what college is for, that's where I really found, KUR would help, is to show that I'm well-rounded and I'm willing to just try all different flavors of the media mass communication field.
And was your goal always to be on TV, or did that just kind of happen? Or
I wouldn't call it on TV. I always wanted to be a journalist. That's just one part of it. As I'm sure you guys see, TV reporters are on television for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most a night. They're on one story, one show, rarely more than that. It was more, I like, storytelling, and I love getting to, report the facts and bring the news to people, and you learn stuff from it. That's one thing I was always doing. And on KUR, I had topics, I had people on that I was interviewing that I wasn't directly interested in, but it expanded my worldview. It made me more of a self-initiated learner, where you'd talk to people about all different kinds of stuff, and you learn stuff. And that's what I really wanted to do, was to be a journalist. And with TV, I picked TV is because it's got the most interesting way of storytelling. Sure, I think print is always going to have the more comprehensive version of it because it's just words. But TV is the whole ball of wax. You've got video to show you're there. Here's what it looks like physically. You don't have to paint the picture with the words like in print. And you get audio. You get to tell the story with your voiceover, and hearing people talk, and writing. How you write your story is really a huge component. So that's what I liked about it. I wanted to do all three. It's very difficult to do all three, but as far as those 3 elements of writing, sound, visuals, and as far as from a storytelling standpoint, that was really why I picked television.
All right. And I guess this is maybe a little bit of a more random question, but for a while I always wanted to be a real, talk show host on a radio, have a little music show. I like country music a lot, and so I was I'd love to be a DJ / talk show host for a radio show live, but as life seems to progress, there not many people seem to listen to radio much anymore, because now we have things like Spotify or Apple Music or Pandora. Do you think that radio is going to completely disappear or change, or what do you think is in the future for radio and people on the radio?
Do you mean in a just music station sense or in a talk radio show sense?
Maybe a little bit of both. Can I say
Okay,
that?
well, we can start with the music sense. I interned at More FM, which used to be B101 in Philadelphia. We did promotions, and they were a music station mostly. They had a morning talk show because that's something that's pretty much a staple these days in radio, because everyone's always, in the morning drive, always want to hear people talk and wake them up and all that. But music is, that is certainly sort of a dying star, the music radio station. They still exist. No doubt there will always be music radio stations, but just talking to people, they're telling me in the industry, they're yeah, most of the time we get most of the money they make off of it is from playing it in supermarkets or CVS, and where they have contracts where they just constantly stream their station the whole day, and that's how they get their advertising space. With people driving as much or not listening to radio as much because now you can just pick what songs you like. That's how the landscape has changed. They're still there, but it's very difficult to get that because, and for one thing, it's very oversaturated. Now at first they would just have music stations. Now they have stations based off specific genres, country music stations, hip hop and R&B stations, classic rock stations, and that just to try and really build a loyal audience from that can be very difficult because now people can say, all right, well, instead of turning on the radio and not hearing the song I want to hear or having to wait till I hear something I like, I could just stream music through my iPhone or something like that. So that's certainly how that's changing. It doesn't discourage people from doing it. Everybody would love to get to say, hey, let me play you this playlist or something like that. Not at all. I'm not discouraging anybody to leave that, but it's certainly changing, and you got to be good. You got to be able to just jump out to an employer that you can do that. And from the talk radio perspective, I still think there is a world in that. I mean, many people like talk radio, as many people have opinions, so they're going to want to find a place to put them out there and get to expand discussions. And that can also be very difficult because so many people want him, and radio it's become such an art. And since there's so many people with opinions, there's that old saying, opinions are like, what has them. It really is more about the person. It's kind of hard to say, hey, I was trained in radio talk show stuff in school these days, because what I think with talk radio, it's more about people who are knowledgeable and really know how to coherently make a point or deliver commentary for a long time. And at first, I hosted a sports talk radio show at I got to fill in for Paul Roberts at WEEU a few years ago. Hosted the show, The Sports Democracy. And this is about the Phillies, the Sixers, the Flyers. This is stuff I love. I could talk about it all day with you. But on the radio, you realize an hour, 2 hours is a long time, and that the shows how important callers are. You really need to develop how to really just almost develop a narrative. You don't just show up and talk for 3 hours on the show. You got to really be able to deliver a message home to people. That's what a lot of these bigger talk radio show hosts have gotten so good at that. Part of it's just from doing it for many years, but just learning about the art of radio.
And Nick Lawrence, he works with WEEU. I know he's in here every so often, maybe once a month or so. And he always has, I always like when he comes in because he always is taking a bunch of notes, and then afterwards he'll either email me or give me the note paper of just kind of all the tips and how to get better. And I know one of the big things he's always pushing me to say is that I need to form an opinion about things.
Yeah, I used to not do that as much. I loved working with Nick. I got to actually produce and co-host him when he would fill in for Feedback, the big talk show on WEEU. Great guy to work with. I miss Nick. I got to give him a call sometime. Yeah, and he's a guy who hadn't done radio the whole time, but he said, you know what, I'm going to try and give this a try. He's such an eloquent and really just intelligent guy. And he could, go on talking for hours, but I noticed every time he came in and hosted the show, he would come prepared with a list of ideas. Here's what we're going to talk about, top stories in the news, what are the big hot topics in the world, and he would have, material where he'd say, all right, let me refer to this or this or this. He'd come prepared and know how to really develop that narrative. So he found the art form of it, and that's what I really liked about Nick, is how he taught me to really, raise questions and get people to engage and get callers. Because at first I wasn't getting callers. And over time, we started to get some, just from Nick helping and me really putting something out there, or saying something where someone will think, listen, wow, I'd love to, respond to that and contribute to the conversation. Yeah. Because that's what it's about. My dad thinks sometimes when he hears, in Philadelphia, there's lots of sports talk radio stations, and they think, oh, they're nuts. They're calling into a radio station. Everyone hears what they're saying, but that's a good thing. If you can comfort someone and get someone to really be willing to just have a civil discussion about something, a fun discussion about it, because that's something we do every day, that's a good thing. And that's really what helps drive it.
Yeah, I think
instead of just hearing yourself talk for 3 hours.
And I think it was the last show before Christmas break. Nick was here, and I got my first caller. We were talking about the fake Christmas trees and real Christmas trees, and the big debate between that. And really? we had someone call in and say that, because we were wondering why there isn't why people who are really excited about the environment, or people who are I can't think of the word, but like really love the environment. Don't make a big fuss about cutting down all the Christmas trees. And she said they called and said that they don't make a big fuss about people cutting down Christmas trees because that's the only reason Christmas trees are kind of grown. They're grown to be cut down. And I remember it was the first woman who called, and I was super excited, and Nick was here for that.
Excellent. Well, good for you. Yeah, it shows even in a topic like that, to find a way to get people interested and to talk about it, it can be a lot of fun and very engaging and a real way to expand your audience and to develop a following and that's what this business, I hate to call it a business, this field is really about, developing a following, people who know who you are and want to talk to you and relate to you and listen to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess what advice would you give to someone like me or the future hosts of Kutztown Live to come and then working like in this, I guess, industry or this business in the future? How can you move on from this?
Well, one thing for being a talk show host, it depends on what the topic is. Make sure you're informed. Do your homework. People think this business, keep calling it a business, this industry or field is just lights, camera, action, or boom, we're on the air. There's a lot of prep work. You need to. I could have done more, but when I was in school, but I was very busy juggling other chainsaws with all the other activities. But it's always good to make sure that, if you're going to talk about something, you got to know like pretty much the whole thing because, people are going to call in that are also going to know about that, and they want you to be able to facilitate the discussion and help move it forward. You should, know a good chunk about what the topic is because you're there to help inform the people. That's one thing about the media industry is we're there to inform people. Talk radio, yeah, we talk, but you're also developing insight by talking and giving your commentary to people. You want people to leave informed and, think, wow, that was a great experience, or I learned something from that. And it applies to talk radio or any kind of journalism as a whole, is that make sure you know what's going on. It's not good to just come in and start out your show and then just talk about stuff and find rhythm. It's good to think, here's what we're going to talk about, and here's what points I'm going to make, and then let's hear what other people have to say. That'd be the best advice I'd have to give people.
Usually over the weekend, I usually get an email about who's coming on the show, and then I always have to look up their website and find a picture of who they are and find out all about them. And
it helps you find better questions, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The more I know, the more I can seem to ask, I think.
That's what really intelligence is about, is, my dad and I always talk, intelligence is not just knowing stuff. It's being able to find out how to use that to find more in simple terms. You think, okay, well, based off what I see here or read from this news story or this, here are what questions pop up in my head. That's where you really develop your intelligence. And you can learn a lot from your audience as well.
I think the Christmas time was the only time that I had a caller, so that was exciting. But this is, I think, the third show since I've been back from spring break, so maybe one of these days. But I was super excited because I got an email in my last class at like 1 o'clock that you were giving us a call, and I was like, oh, that'll be exciting to just see what KUR was like, I guess, back then.
I don't know. Has it changed much? Mike, you there? Has it changed much?
Mike's not in the room over there.
Oh, he's not. He must have been busy with something else.
He's not. I think he had to run away.
They have different, I think the theme music must be different, but hey, I guess you can imagine. People don't want that repetition. Awesome. So what, if I may ask you a question.
Go for it.
Do you want to be a show host, talk show host, you say?
I think I change what I want to do all the time. I'm always going back and forth, but I think I started off, I always loved watching The Ellen Show. Me and my sisters, we like to come home after school when I was in like high school and middle school, and we'd all sit on the couch, eat and snack after school and watch The Ellen Show all together. And I always thought, like, what she does is just super cool and a lot of fun. She gets to meet all those different people, interview all those different people, go everywhere, do a bunch of things. And I always thought doing something like that, hosting, something like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, interviewing is always probably the best part of being a show host. You get to just pick someone's brain. That was my favorite part. That's why I always tried to get interviewers. Otherwise, it'd be me monologuing coherently for an hour or 2 hours. Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed with that industry. It's really changing, and what I see from a lot of them is they're developing a topic. Do you have topics that interest you? Because certain stations do have certain topics they like to talk about.
I'm not very political. I've said that, but It just kind of depends on the week. Usually just kind of news stories, what's going on or what's in the media, I guess, of today and different things like that usually seem to be the biggest topics. I know because I do host Kutztown's Country. I call it on Mondays. It's a country music show. I do a country music show on Mondays and Kutztown Live on Tuesdays, and I try to stay up to date with all like the country news that's going on. So when I play a song by someone, I can have like a little bit of news about them to say.
Sure. So what do you think is the best advice you've gotten from Nick? Because I have mine. I'd love to hear from what another one of his pupils has. What's the best advice you've gotten from him?
Oh wow, now I gotta think. He just gave me, the last week he was in here, he gave me a letter of just kind of different points and different things to say. But I think, I don't know, forming an opinion and being able to voice what I actually think about stuff is probably one thing, because usually I just kind of let the other person talk about it and voice their opinion. I just kind of roll along with it. But I think being able to come up with my own ideas has been one of the things that he's been really pushing me to do. That's kind of the first thing off the top of my head that I can think of.
Yeah, it's similar to what he taught me. His curriculum hasn't changed too much. Yeah, he's that's one thing he always asked me about, saying, hey, Steve, what questions pop up in your head? And just say them on the air. He'd say, what do you get? We did one time we were just talking briefly. It was a really interesting interview, one of the best ones we've had in a while. We had Professor Vicola, I believe is the name, from the English department. He had written an article, an op-ed about how there was new legislation coming in about possibly allowing concealed carry, guns on campus for students. And, we talked about his article and all that. And I thought it would just be a 10-minute interview, but then I just started saying, hearing his answers, I would say on the air, that raises the question, what's a reasonable expectation of safety for a student on campus, stuff like that. And people started calling in, and I kept him there. And we just scrapped everything else, and for the whole show, it was just talk about this new proposed, rule on campus, just that. Mm-hmm. So that's what really helps drive a show, is just consistently raising questions and giving people almost these bullet points of what they're thinking about or what they're learning, and thinking, wow, I got to tune in the next day. So that's what it is. Radio it's oversaturated. Yeah, there's so few jobs, and it's a cutthroat war for listening, for ears, just as TV and print are a war for eyeballs. You got to keep people coming back over and over again. You can't, satisfy their hunger and quench their thirst. They got to just make them keep coming back and saying, hey, I want to hear this guy more. And that's what really makes it great, in my, few years in the actual professional world, viewing is what makes a great host. But yeah, you're doing a great job. You're asking very open-ended questions and appropriate follow-ups. Yeah. Good job.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I always love doing this every day and coming in. I always get excited. I just made a little Facebook page for my Kutztown's Country one, and so I just have a lot of fun doing it, and I really enjoy it just for myself, too. And I love telling my family and friends, like, hey, this is what I do, and they always get to ask me a bunch of questions, and I always enjoy that.
Good. What's your favorite part about this? I'm almost calling it a business. What's your favorite part about this field, as the communications field? Because with that degree, you could do all kinds of stuff. It's actually the most versatile degrees you can get.
I came into Kutztown undecided, and then for like a day, I think I was an electronic media major, and then I switched it the next day to a communications major. But I chose communications because of how broad it is, I think, because I'm always changing my mind and doing something different, but I've never been like a strictly very math kind of person or a science person or like a language type person, but like everything within the communications field has always been something I've been able to do or do well at. I loved doing like projects and public speaking when you'd have to get up in front of the class and present something, and most people don't like that and they hate to do that kind of stuff. So I always love, getting up in front of people and talking about different things. But I think with the communications, it's just because it's so broad is why I like it, if that makes sense. Because you can kind of do anything. I don't know what exactly I want to do, but it's always changing, but it always seems to be something in the different fields. Like I took a public relations class this past semester, and even just learning about all the public relations side of different things was definitely super interesting to hear.
Was that with William Pristock? Writing for public relations?
No, it was just the intro to public relations.
Oh. Yeah, that's another field that, is very similar to what we do here. They kind of help, help get the word out about what's going on to the news agencies. Yes, and that's something I see a lot of communication leaders enter. Excellent. So you've only gotten one caller. Why do you think people don't, and I'm not going to run the interview here, why do you think people don't call as much?
I think it was on Nick's note that he wrote me last week to advertise to call more. I don't think it's advertised very much. So I guess to advertise to call, the number is 610-683-4859. Be sure to give us a call.
That's exactly what he told me. He told me always say, hey, welcome back, call in at such and such. People don't just have it written down in like their hand every time you go on the air.
Because I remember when I was like younger, I used to listen to like FM 97 and stuff, and they'd always say, give us a call and request a song or something. And me and all my friends, as soon as they would say the number, we'd all call and be super excited, and we'd get to talk to the host, and they'd play our song, and we'd all freak out because we're like, oh, they just played the song we requested.
Sure. Do you have an idol? Oh, so Ellen, we know you. Excuse me, we know you like Ellen. Any idols in the radio industry?
I don't know. I do listen to radio. I always listen to, I think it's 94.9, Bob 94.9. It's like the country music station, and there's a couple different hosts on there I like to listen to. But no one that I can really think of at the moment in time.
No problem. Yeah, it's one of those things where you sort of like the brand, because they have varying hosts at most places. And you like the brand a lot. And country music out here in Indiana is very popular. So country music actually is a good market for that. If you want, and I'm sure Nashville radio stations do great because everybody loves country music down there.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Nashville?
I have never. No.
You go down, there's one area there, they have live music at every venue. Libraries probably have live music there.
Wow.
Country music. So that you can imagine that, in that kind of market, country radio stations are king. That's a good place to have it. Or you find an area where rock is really popular. That's one thing that really is a much hotter market for that. Because that's one thing about the industry I've noticed is that you're gonna have to move usually to start unless you're lucky. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so about 45 minutes to an hour away from Kutztown, so not that far.
Yeah. I'm from just outside Philadelphia, so I know exactly where that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing with this industry. You have to go where the job is. Philadelphia is too big of a market for me to start out in, and I interned at 6ABC, the very top. Yet I thought to myself, I got to start small. And WEEU in Reading's a great station, but it's a smaller area than here. And I started small, and it got me experience, and that actually helped because even if you're not that's one thing you should be able to realize. You may not be right where you want to be right away. Like you might not be a host right away. You might start as an update anchor where you do the news. You got to be able to be versatile these days. You got to be able to do more than one thing. When I hosted the show, I had to also run the board, meaning I had to make sure that X, Y, and Z ads run. That's a big no-no because we got to make our money. And so that's, you got to be able to do a lot of different stuff. And it can be tough to juggle. I got to do a lot more than just, report on TV. I got to make a lot of phone calls. I got to tell stories every day. I have to carry all this expensive equipment around with me. But you find yourself as an apprentice. And what you do is when you start your field, wherever you go, you'll start out with, okay, I'm going to be doing maybe not exactly what I want to do right now, but I'm in the industry. You do help produce a show. And as producers get, the good thing about radio is producers often, get to chime in and talk. And that's what I did. I would produce. I'd essentially be a co-host. Nick wouldn't mind if I jumped in at all like that at times. And you start there, and then finally, when you're going to another employer about the job you want, you say, hey, well, I'm in the industry. That's one thing that I had that some of my other colleagues here at my station didn't have. They were college graduates who all were just, interns or worked at their college TV station or college radio station. That's where it was from. I said, hey, I'm actually doing some news reporting and some on-air stuff and some broadcasting and radio. So they said, okay, he's got some experience. He's in the field. So it's the old adage of, hey, if you want to be on the air, you be on the air and do what you have to do and go where you have to go. So yeah, that's something, that you've got a lot around the middle of Pennsylvania, a lot of mid-level stations that always use some extra help. Yeah, that's one thing you always got to look at is, you can start local and see where you go and then work your way out. Where exactly are you, a junior or senior?
I am currently a sophomore here at Kutztown, but the music has started to play, and it is 4 o'clock, and I know there is a show on, I think, right after us here, so I'm going to have to cut it off here this way, but it was